And hello. With today's episode, we're on Jezero Crater of Mars. And you'll probably ask yourself, why Jezero Crater? Very good question. And how good can you get? And how are we going with this? Well, of course, there are lots of intricate structures on Jezero Crater. And as a matter of fact, the Perseverance rover and Ingenuity helicopter are on there for some reason. As a matter of fact, the trip that the Ingenuity rover had the last time was in Jezero Crater at a certain region. And we'll go over some of these various panoramas and vistas and make some sense of it all over the general frame of things or whatnot. And please enjoy. Thank you for your time on behalf of the effective evolution. And with this episode, we're back on Jezero Crater, and this is PIA 26378. And that would be this panorama here. And some areas that we'll explore would be these areas around here. And you'll notice some very interesting designs, landform architecture, and the like. And this area here is where the Ingenuity helicopter landed on its last trip. And there are also other interesting areas to explore, such as these areas here. And we'll get to that in a jiffy. Further probing of particular areas, we'll have a gander at this area here. And after you select a region just closer to this particular area, you can get a pick like this. And you could discern some very intimate structures on the slope here. They do appear to be very orderly, very designed. And you'll probably ask yourself, well, what is this? There are linear patterns here. They seem to have thoughtful architecture. Could this be some sort of decomposed spacecraft, i.e., one of those here and another type of craft here? And would this be the detail of another type of craft here, or some type of saucer-shaped ship or whatnot? Or is it one giant craft? And incorporating some of the other transformation instruments, we'll just try to come up with some more vantage points or whatnot. But there are some intricate patterns here as well. It's like a pentagonal type of shape with two circular, could they be observation decks or whatnot? Or
things start to pop and more detail seems to be shown. Shed some light onto this area here. That would be this area here. As you can see, when you zoom in a bit more, you could determine some very interesting shapes, geometrical shapes, curves, all over the place here, really, and very designed type of boundary around this established conglomeration of polygons and shapes. And is this some type of dwelling here of an extraterrestrial sort? And adjusting the transformation tools. There does seem to be some planned architecture here with the shadows, shapes, elevation, and whatnot. Not to mention in the back throw as well. Not to mention in the back into this area that we were just on. This would give a somewhat larger panorama, and with some adjustments from the transformation gadgets, you'll probably notice some interesting designs already. Elevation, symmetry. We were just here and just noticed the architecture, the geometry. Is this a settlement as well, or are these parts of machinery or buildings, structures, or whatnot? In Jezero Crater, this being PIA 26378. We're going over this area here. As a matter of fact, this is the area where the Ingenuity helicopter landed after its last trip. And it's probably still around here somewhere. And as we zoom in a bit more, and attaching the red, blue, and green gadget, we can come up with some more detail. And you'll probably notice some light source over this area here. It seems to be very systematic and orderly. You can probably notice intricate patterns in here as well. Geometrical shapes. Just notice this curve here. Is that due to the Aeolian force exclusively, or is it a combination of things, or is it made by another type of life form? And are these dwellings in here after all? And why was the Ingenuity helicopter here on its last trip? Some questions to keep in mind, of course. Maybe some things will start to have more clarity or whatnot. And the shapes, shadows, patterns, location are all factors of implication, of course. Of course. And these are just a few of the interesting selections, of course. Jezero crater with the infrared instrument. And you can probably notice some more detail with the structures that we have gone over. Very interesting formations. Remarkable designs. Very implicative. And how were these created? focus onto some objects on the Jezero slope using the contrast brightness, and you can notice some remarkable designs, patterns, and objects that seem to have a lot of planned design architecture on them. Could they be mining equipment or whatnot? Structures of crafts and settlements, industry, and the like.
Over the various areas, we must come up with the idea that, of course, there are some very vivid structures here. And with the various probing instruments, such as the infrared camera and also various types of transformation elements, contrast brightness, and whatnot, you must admit that there are some structures there that have a very planned type of architecture. And as a matter of fact, the Ingenuity helicopter was around one of these regions on its last trip for some reason. And of course, the symmetry, the patterns, and whatnot would indicate that there is the presence of another type of technology. And hope you enjoy this. Until next time, thank you for your time.